In Panama City, Florida, on June 3rd, 1961, someone broke into the Bay Harbor pool room and stole money, and one witness reported they saw a man named Clarence Earl Gideon that morning walking out with cash and like a wine bottle. And Gideon was a super easy target because he was a drifter most of his life, and he was always in and out of different prisons for nonviolent crimes. So he was arrested for breaking and entering and trying to steal, and everyone just blamed him. And then at the time, Gideon had no money, so because he couldn't afford a lawyer, he asked the Florida Circuit Court judge to appoint one for him, claiming the Sixth Amendment of the Constitution guaranteed everyone a lawyer. But the judge said no, on account that the Florida law only allowed the court to provide a lawyer if the defendant was charged with a capital offense. So Gideon had to represent himself and in his trial, and he didn't do a good job, so he was arrested and found guilty of the accused crimes. But while in jail, serving 5 years, he actually taught himself about the law and became even more confident his rights are being violated. So he wrote a letter from his prison cell to the Supreme Court, explaining himself, and not only did the Supreme Court read his petition, but they actually agreed to hear his case. So Gideon was suing the Secretary of the Florida Department of Corrections, which was a guy named Wainwright. And the Supreme Court was actually being all nice to him, and he was assigned a well-established lawyer from Washington, D.C. named Abe Fortas to represent him in the trial. And then on March 18th, 1963, the court announced unanimously in favor of Gideon, and it argued that the Sixth Amendment doesn't point out a difference between capital and non-capital cases, and it also said that the 14th Amendment gave the federal government authority to control state laws that denied Sixth Amendment rights. But this decision didn't free Gideon from prison. He was still in jail, but he got a new trial with a new lawyer provided by the government of Florida, and the trial took place on August 5th, 1963, and Gideon was freed because the new lawyer completely discredited the original case. And this case further protected